Good morning friends, welcome to Vijay Mohan IAS Academy. Hope everyone is doing well and everyone is preparing well. Right, you know that we started Tspsc Group 1 Mains video course and test series exclusively for English medium students, and in the due course we have completed chapter 1, of Indian economy, that is related to national income, measurement of national income and structural changes in Indian economy, how structural changes happened in different sectors and how the structural changes happened as far as workforce of Indian economy is concerned since independence. And we already given a test paper related to the first chapter of Indian economy, that is test 1, and some of the students already wrote the exam and I already evaluated the scripts and I already returned the scripts, right? So as part of this video course and test series, today in this class we will be discussing about the first chapter of Telangana economy, right? First chapter of Telangana economy. As you know that the Telangana economy, that is part B of the paper 4, has been divided into 5 chapters, and the first chapter deals with the historical background, or you can say the development trajectory of the Telangana state, right? So before proceeding further, I want to tell you about something about the sources which you need to refer while preparing for the Telangana economy, right? So the first and foremost source that I want to refer to you is Telugu Academy textbook, on Telangana economy. I think new version has already been released, so you just take hold of the new version. Then this is the must and this is the good source and it is must for your preparation, right? And the second source is Telangana socio-economic outlook 2022, right? So this is the second important source as far as your Telangana economy preparation is concerned, right? And another important source is Telangana statistical abstract 2021, right? So these are the 3 important sources that you need to refer while preparing for Telangana economy. And here I want to tell you one more source is there which you can take recourse, that is Human Development Report of Telangana, Human Development Report of Telangana state 2017. It is related to 2017. You can selectively refer to this source also. So there are 4 important sources as far as your Telangana economy is concerned, and apart from these sources, you need to refer to the newspapers, regular newspaper like the Hindu. Then you will get some of the issues related to current issues related to the Telangana, and you support your sources with the news items which are coming daily in the newspapers, right? So as I told you, apart from the newspapers, there are 4 important sources. Within that 4 important sources, the first 2 are very, very important. That is Telugu Academy textbook on Telangana economy, and another one is socio-economic outlook 2022, right? So here I want to tell you the socio-economic outlook of Telangana and statistical abstract of Telangana. There is a slight time lag between the data given in these 2 sources. So there is a slight time lag between these 2 sources. If you observe deeply, there is a statistical difference between these 2 sources. So you have to be very wise and you have to be very particular which source you want to use. So it is better, I will suggest that it is better to go with one source as far as your statistical data, particularly of when you are considering about the group 1 examination, because if you keep on taking data from different sources and you are not able to remember them and you are not able to present them in the examination, then it is a waste of collection of data. So here the point is not that you are collecting the data, you have to present that data which is relevant to the examination. So I will prefer, or I will suggest aspirants that to depend on one source as far as especially for group 1 examination is concerned, that the socio-economic outlook of Telangana, recent socio-economic outlook of Telangana will be the good source as far as statistical information is concerned, right. So this is about the sources that you need to use while preparing for Telangana economy. However, this doesn't mean that you refer entire sources, because if you observe the syllabus of Telangana economy, you may not be able to complete it 100%, right. So you have to selectively read the sources and you have to connect it with your syllabus. So according to your syllabus, you refer to the sources, then extract the information, then consolidated it in some notes form, so that it will be easy for you to revise when examination is nearby, when examination is going to be conducted soon, right. So what I want to say is that instead of mugging up all the statistical information or all the information given in the resources, you need to be very wise to choose the information which is required, and you need to go according to the syllabus, and you need to observe the previous year questions, and you need to practice questions. Then only you can tame the syllabus of Indian economy as well as Telangana economy. And one more thing, developmental issues is also given in the paper 4. So it is not that much easy to get hold of the paper 4, because the syllabus is given in a rich context, in a diversified manner. So if you want to get the hold of it, you need to practice many questions, you need to read many times, you need to refer sources, and you need to consolidate the information at a single point. Then only it will be easy to crack the paper 4, because this paper 4 will give you, if you put little bit effort, it will give you maximum result, right. So this is the thing that I want to tell you about the preparation of Telangana economy, sources of the Telangana economy. Now we will move to the first chapter of Telangana economy, chapter 1, and in this particular chapter we will be referring to the Telangana economy in Hyderabad state, that is agriculture, industry and trade. First we will take up this issue, then in the following classes we will take up the other issues. So before moving further, I want to tell you about something about the chapter 1. See, chapter 1 is basically a mixture of core subject and dynamic subject, or dynamic content. Core content and dynamic content are current related content. If you observe the first 2 items or 3 items, Telangana economy in Hyderabad state, agriculture, industry, trade, and Telangana economy in United AP 1956 to 2014, deprivation and underdevelopment, structure and growth of Telangana economy. Up to these 3 issues, you will find that these are core aspects. If you observe, apart from 3, in third aspect, that is structure and growth of Telangana economy, you will get some of the recent trends, you will get the questions on some of the recent trends like 5 years, 10 years, like that. But if you deeply observe, the first 2 are absolutely core in nature. So there won't be any change, there won't be any dynamic content in that, right. So what I want to say is that if you prepare well this chapter, then you will be having a probability of scoring good marks from this chapter, right. Now you will see some of the sectoral trends in GSDP. This is also mixture of core and dynamic aspect, and per capita income, income inequalities and poverty. This is also a mixture of core and dynamic content. So throughout the entire syllabus of your Telangana economy, it is a good admixture or good mixture of core content as well as dynamic content. So I want to stress on the point that as far as core content is concerned, once you prepare and once you get hold of the core content, then it will be easy for you to score marks, because if you observe the previous year question papers, as far as core content is concerned or as far as static content is concerned, there will be only 3 or 4 dimensions where questions are being repeatedly asked in different dimensions, right. So if you get hold of the core content very easily, or then you can have the probability of scoring good marks. That is the point that I want to stress on that, right. So first we will be studying about the Telangana economy in Hyderabad state related to agriculture, industry and trade, then we will moving further, right. So before moving into the core aspect of our video course, first I want to tell you what are the probable areas of questions being framed. So what will be the probable areas from this particular issue that there is a possibility that we will get the questions, right. We will see development of agriculture in Hyderabad state. See, development of agriculture, as we go forward, we will see how development of agriculture happened in phases in the Telangana area of erstwhile Hyderabad state, right. So development of agriculture in Hyderabad state prior to Salarjung reforms and after Salarjung reforms. This has happened in 2 phases. How development of agriculture happened before Salarjung reforms. When Salarjung reforms started in 1853 to between 1883, during the period of 30 years, there were wide range of reforms which are mentioned as Salarjung reforms in administration, that is administrative reforms, governance reforms, reforms in agriculture, reforms in irrigation, reforms in industrial establishment, even reforms in fiscal policy and trade or exim policy. So there are number of reforms during that period. So we will be studying the development of agriculture prior to the Salarjung reforms and after Salarjung reforms, and there is a probability that questions will be asked from this area, how agriculture has been developed particularly after the Salarjung reforms, what is the nature of the agriculture prior to the Salarjung reforms. These are the points that you need to remember. Then there is a possibility of development of asking questions on development of industry in Hyderabad state. This is also similar prior to the Salarjung reforms and after Salarjung reforms. This has also happened particularly after the Salarjung reforms. There is a rapid industrialization, or you can say that the base for the industrialization has been laid after the Salarjung reforms, and particularly after the Salarjung reforms, industrial development happened in 3 phases. We will see those phases, and even during the World War II, there is some impetus for particular type of industries as far as Telangana area or Hyderabad state is concerned. So this is the another area where there is a probability of question being asked. Like you can see that I will give one practice question while discussing. You can see how the questions are being framed, how the possibility of questions are being framed. For example, they may ask that during the Second World War, the Hyderabad state and particularly Telangana area has seen a tremendous increase in the industrial activity. Comment. So these are the type of questions that there is a possibility that they might frame the question, that they will consider while framing the question, right. And the third area that we need to concentrate is development of trade in Hyderabad state, right. So this is another area where there is a probability of question being framed. Now we will see first what is the contextual background, what is the contextual or historical background from where we have to study the development of agriculture, industry and trade as far as Telangana area of Hyderabad, erstwhile Hyderabad state is concerned. If you are thorough about the contextual background, or if you are having the basic idea of the contextual background or historical idea, then it will be easy for you to study the development of these 3 structures, that is agriculture, industry and trade, right. Yes, first we will see what is how the development of agriculture happened in Telangana area of erstwhile Hyderabad state, right. So as I already told you, development of agriculture in Telangana area happened in two phases, that is prior to Salarjung reforms, that is 1724 to 1853, and after Salarjung reforms from 1853 onwards up to 1948, you can say up to 1948, right. First we will see what is the agricultural development prior to Salarjung reforms, right. So if you observe sorry, before Salarjung reforms, the agriculture, the basic nature of agriculture in the Hyderabad state, erstwhile Hyderabad state or Telangana area is, you can say, the subsistence agriculture, the rural based agriculture, the local dependent agriculture, right. It is produced for the local market, it is not produced for the commercial purpose, it is not produced for intended for the export, right. So this is the basic nature of agriculture in the Telangana area prior to the Salarjung reforms. You will see it is only for the purpose of food grain production. So it is basically only for the purpose of food grain production, it is not for commercial purpose. It is carried on for self consumption, basically it is carried on for self consumption, not for selling in the market or not for exporting, right. It is intended for local markets, I already told you, it is intended for consumption in local market or usage in the local market, right. And there is not, production is not on a commercial scale or for a commercial purpose. These are the basic fundamental characters that you need to remember before Salarjung reforms. This is the nature of agriculture development. Why? Because there will be a question, if there will be a question that write or discuss the nature of agriculture development prior to the Salarjung reforms in Telangana area of erstwhile Hyderabad state, then you have to list out all these issues, right. Now irrigation development, how irrigation development has been there prior to the Salarjung reforms. Repair and maintenance of tanks entrusted to private individuals. So repair and maintenance of tanks has been entrusted to the private individuals, not to the government or government officials. Obviously, if during that period of time, if it has been given or entrusted to the private individuals, then there will be a less investment, there will be a less interest to maintain those tanks or repair those tanks, because individuals, they might be seeing in a profit motive. When there is no profit motive, then there is a negligence of maintaining and repairing the tanks. So the repair and maintenance of tanks entrusted to private individuals, so they have not showed any interest to develop the irrigation. Now government officials also neglected irrigation facilities, so there is a double disadvantage. One point is that they have given to private individuals, and another point is that government officials also neglected irrigation facilities. Then no efforts to utilize the water of rivers of the Godavari, Tungabhadra and Krishna. So there has been no efforts to utilize the waters of Godavari, Tungabhadra and Krishna. Here you can remember that even the British officials, some of the British engineers has told or advised the Nizam government to construct the, what you can say, the anicuts or the bridges or the, you can say, projects on these rivers and utilize the waters of Tungabhadra, Krishna and Godavari, but there was no efforts as far as Nizam state is concerned to utilize the water of these rivers, right. So because of all these reasons, you can say that the prevailing nature of agriculture or agriculture development prior to the Salarjung reforms is somewhat ruralized, localized and subsistence based, not for commercial purpose, and irrigation is also not developed up to the standards, right. Just briefly remember this, because there is a possibility they might ask the question on this aspect, right. Next we will move, what is the agriculture development after Salarjung reforms, that is from 1853 onwards, how agriculture development has happened, right. The basic or the important aspect of agriculture development after Salarjung reforms is commercialization of agriculture. Commercialization of agriculture has happened. What is, if you see, for example, paddy's share in total cropped area increased from 3% in 1920-22 to 6% by 1949-50. So basically these are the issues, or these are the developments that you can observe as far as agriculture is concerned after the Salarjung reforms in the Telangana area, right. Okay. Now we will see some of the practice questions related to this topic, right? Starting from the second half of the 19th century, the Telangana's agriculture sector witnessed commercialization in its development discourse. Justify. We will see once again the question. Starting from the second half of the 19th century, that is after 1850, the Telangana's agriculture sector witnessed commercialization in its development discourse. Justify. You need to justify the commercial aspect of agriculture development after 1850s of the Telangana area of erstwhile Hyderabad state, right? Now we will see the second question. Discuss the nature of development of agriculture. Discuss the nature of development of agriculture sector in Telangana area of Hyderabad state. So what is the nature of development of agriculture in the Telangana state? First you have to write about what is the nature of agriculture prior to the Salarjung reforms, and what is the nature, how the nature has been shifted from subsistence to commercial in the post Salarjung reforms period, and where you can observe the commercial aspect and how the production and gross cropped area irrigation has been changed or developed after the Salarjung reforms. So these are the type of questions there is a possibility that they might ask. Try to write answers for these questions, right? Now we will see what is the development of industry as far as Telangana area of erstwhile Hyderabad state is concerned, right? So development of industrial sector in Telangana. Again, this has been divided into two aspects: the development of industry prior to the Salarjung reforms and development of industry after Salarjung reforms. And development of industry after Salarjung reforms, again it has been divided into three phases, right? In the third phase, which is the period of Second World War, that is 1939 and 1949. Actually Second World War has ended in 1945, so this phase has continued up to 1949. The change in the industrial structure has happened. So the change in the industrial structure of Telangana area, you can observe how it has changed. It has shifted to the development of non-agricultural sector industries from the existing dominance of agro-based industries. So there is a perceptible shift in the Telangana industrial ecosystem in the erstwhile Hyderabad state, that there is a shift to the development of non-agricultural sector from the dominance of agro-based industries, right? The efforts for industrial development through the plants. So there has been a perceptible or particular effort of industrial development through the plants. You can observe or you can see in the as we go further, right? So these are the phases where industrial development of Telangana area has happened after the Salarjung reforms, right? So in the next class we will see it in detail. Thank you.